Well, apparently next month there's this report coming out, and one of the reports in it is that one of the judges actually gave it to the Korean because he didn't want to embarrass the host nation. I mean, that is just so unprofessional.
Well, that's great, but Arthur Tussell wasn't one of the judges, was he, Matthew?
I don't think so, mate. I don't know.
I'm just asking, I'm not too sure really.
All right, well, Glen Kelly, the younger brother of the Kelly brothers, is fast making a name for himself as a fighter with a big future. Undefeated in 12 contests, national honours await him after another convincing win last Friday at the Newtown RSL in Sydney. Kelly in the solid black trunks came into the fight as the undefeated New South Wales champion. Barbe, who's proven himself a tough opponent in past contests, needed a win to inject new life into his career. Both men started cautiously, each aware of the other's power. Not much happened in the opening round, although Kelly's much vaunted jabs did double up occasionally. Unfortunately, his right just missed the mark. Barbe misses with a right and pays the price. Late the same round, Kelly hooks well off his jab, which again has the Samoan on unsteady legs. Barbe, looking to gain the initiative offensively, looks to land his power punch to the right, but Kelly's evasive skills lead to nothing but frustration for the challenger. Into the third round, and the defending champ continues to dominate proceedings. Although scoring well with glancing blows, Barbe is able to avoid getting hit flush. With his confidence growing, Kelly upped the tempo, looking to land with more power shots. A nice lead uppercut followed by a left-right combination has Barbe on the retreat once again as Kelly begins to build a commanding lead on the scorecards. In the fifth, Kelly continued to press the action, his hand speed causing Hurricane all sorts of problems. By the seventh, the fight was close to a shutout for the younger of the Kelly brothers. In the closing seconds of the round, the fight looked set to get out of control when Barbe threatened to use a knee after he felt Kelly threw a punch after the bell. All fired up, Kelly loaded up with the right in the eighth, having some success. The Samoan's toughness kept him in the fight, but Kelly's domination was making the result a foregone conclusion. With the cut over Barbe's eye becoming nasty, Trevor Christian had the doctor take a look. Deeming it was not serious at this stage, he allowed the action to continue. Sensing he could end the fight on a TKO, Kelly went after his wounded opponent. Although refusing to concede defeat, Barbe was only putting off the inevitable. With the cut looking worse with every punch, ref Trevor Christian decided he'd seen enough. Kelly defending his title with an impressive 8th round win. And Jeff, Glen Kelly, a great talent, great jab, good hand speed and good foot movement.
Yeah, very strong, improving all the time. He and his brother improved with every fight. I'm very, very impressed with the Kelly brothers. And I think the referee in that occasion, Trevor Christian, done a great job. I think he's one of the very, very good referees we have.
Now, of course, after 12 fights, he's got to obviously begin to lift his opposition. In the light heavyweight division, you've got the likes of Cushion and Marcetta. But beyond that, I mean, what does an Australian fighter do? It's a problem for all Australian fighters. Do they go overseas? Do they take on the expense of bringing opponents in here? I mean, what do you do?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is be the best in Australia. I say good luck to the kid. I think he's got great ability, great evasive skills, great hand speed, enough power to hurt people. Let him beat the two top guys in Australia. If he beats them, then they've got to sit down and really see what path they're going to take.
Okay, well, we'll be back with a whole lot more right after the break.
Every goal, every shot, every moment, Australian soccer at its finest. Channel 12's full coverage of the Ericsson Cup, the breeding ground of Socceroo superstars.
Look, I can see vapor trails coming off it.
Get hooked on the emotion, the guts and the skill of Australian soccer at its competitive best. Newcastle play Wollongong 7:30 tonight. Brisbane play South Melbourne 8 tomorrow. Adelaide play the Melbourne Knights 8 Sunday in the Ericsson Cup on Sports Australia.
At Sky News Australia, we realise that your life doesn't always fit a nice, neat schedule. That's why you need a news service that's more flexible. The latest news, sport and weather at the top of every hour.
Prime Minister John Howard's
There's been further political upheaval.
Then on the half hour, we cross to some of the world's most respected news and information programmes. So don't reschedule your life. Choose the news that's more convenient. Sky News Australia.
It was once ruled by a golden bear, but now it's the hunting ground for a tiger and a shark.
Very nicely done.
The Tucson Open.
There you go. Easy birdie. Get in.
The very best in world golf. Battle for the big bucks.
Well, maybe a double eagle. Oh!
It's the make or break circuit that separates the men from the boys. The US PGA Tour. Tonight at 11 on ESPN.
Welcome back. Well, it's now my pleasure to welcome the editor of World of Boxing, Ray Wheatley. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Matthew.
Now, why did you decide to start up the magazine?
5 years ago, I was encouraged by a friend of mine that, there was an opening there to put out another magazine. I've been writing for another magazine for a few years before that, and I just thought, I'd try my luck and see how it would go, and it's gone well. The last 5 years, we're doing pretty good now.
Your luck's been pretty good, Ray. I've read all the boxing books, and I think by far yours is the one that really covers the world of the sport that I love, boxing, and it's really in depth. How do you manage to get such great scoops and all these stories that you've been producing in the world of boxing?
Well, I've established a lot of contacts around the world, Jeff, over a period of time, with some fantastic writers. You've joined the staff, and soon Mathew books will be writing. It's just, a long period of time. I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of people involved in the game. I get all the information and the right sort of stories.
Now, Ray, of course, you have been involved in the sport for a very long time. What is it about the sport that you love so much?
Well, I suppose it's probably the one-on-one situation of guys getting in the ring and doing their best. And I've just, from a very early age, when I was in the early teens, I was very keen on the sport. And, it's been very good to me. As time's marched on, I've been very lucky.
Yeah. Now, you're also involved with the IBF. What does that entail?
Well, it was around 7 years ago. I'd been officiating around New South Wales for about 4 years. Then I decided to get in contact with the International Boxing Federation.
Is there any reason for the IBF in particular?
Well, they were starting to become the most credible organisation. Jeff Fenech had held the IBF bantamweight title, and it gained a lot of credibility. So I thought that was the best one to go with. So got in contact with them. They told me to come over to New Orleans and attend one of their conventions. And it just went on from there. I've been going back there every year since then. And I've been lucky enough to be involved with a lot of IBF fights.
Well, Ray, you were the judge, or one of the judges, at the last Costa Zoo fight. What did you think of the decision, the overall result of that fight?
Well, the fight wasn't very old, as everyone had seen that Costa Zoo had his opponent down, Leonardo Mas, about 45 seconds of the first round. And you could see that he was really out of his class, Mas. Zoo was right on the mark. He was landing his punches, seemed to be at will. And, you know, the second knockdown came about a minute later. But the third knockdown that the referee actually had his back to me when he said he's supposed to have said break.
Did you hear him say break?
No, I didn't. No, I
He was
didn't.
very indecisive, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I didn't actually hear him say break. So I can't really tell you whether he said it or not. But yeah, it's very unfortunate the fight ended up a technical draw because as anyone had seen the fight can see that Costa-Zul was much the superior boxer. And, you know, really Leonardo Mar shouldn't have been in the ring with him.
What did Cortez, did he say anything to you after the fight?
He never spoke to me, but I was sitting where I was sitting. He came over and spoke to Mark Ratner. So he came over and said to Mark Ratner that Costa-Zul had landed an unintentional illegal blow after he said to the command break. So with that, Mark Ratner said, well, look, let the doctor inspect him. If he can't continue, it'll be a technical draw.
Mark Ratner is the commissioner.
Yeah, he's the Nevada Boxing Commissioner.
That's
yeah,
right,
that's
yeah.
correct. And so the final decision rests with him.
So have you got any more titles coming up that you're going to be judging?
Nothing. No title fights that I know of at this stage, Mathew. They really don't give you a lot of notice, mate. You know, it's normally a couple of weeks' notice and you're off.
But it must be exciting to be able to, now that you're up there, to have the chance to travel around the world and to go to these great fights. I mean, for all you know, you might be ringside for the Tyson Holyfield fight. You don't know, don't you?
Well, I've got someone over there covering the fight for me.
Yeah.
Little Mathew.
What's been the best fight you've been to, like judging and been associated with?
I've been to so many, Jeff. You mean just been there and seen? Seen some great fights. Actually, the last one that really stands out is the Tyson Holyfield fight. I think that was a tremendous fight. And some of the battles that Jeff put up in the 80s, you know, I was there and been lucky enough to be involved with. I officiated on the night that he took the title from Collegius, and also his fight with Paccaroon. You know, so I was lucky enough to witness all that as well. That's here in Australia, and also I must mention the Pineda Costa-Zul fight. I thought that was a fantastic fight. Parramatta.
And now you're lucky enough to have the best boxing magazine in the business as well. World of Boxing.
That's right. We're doing well, mate.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, thank you very much for joining us on KR.
Thanks, Mathew.
And all the very best with the magazine.
Thanks very much.
Okay, well, in a moment we'll be joined by Jeff Fenech's boyhood